When I was a kid, for Christmas, my school set up a projector in the gym and played Ralph Bakshi's The Hobbit for us. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. I had seen all kinds of animation as a kid, from Bugs Bunny to The Jungle Book, but this was completely different. Somewhere along the way, the style Bakshi's The Hobbit was filmed in, called rotoscope, seemed to die away. But fear not, someone out there remembers how cool that style of animation was, and that someone has produced an epic animated fantasy horror masterpiece called The Spine of Night. While it's pretty evident what I thought of it, here are my thoughts anyway. Welcome back to ML Miller Frights. I'm ML Miller. Before we begin, please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications. The Spine of Night is new on demand and digital download from RLJE Entertainment and Shudder. It's directed and written by Philip Galat and Morgan Galen King. A powerful evil force makes its way across the land. It originated from a far-off place, but has traveled thousands of miles to invade and conquer all that stands in its way. Wielded by a powerful wizard, the force transforms men into drones and is a danger to all life on Earth. Only a small group of heroes of iron will and strong armaments stand between the force's dominion over all. The battles will be many and bloody and epic and will span through the ages. And it'll be awesome. The Spine of Night is a throwback kind of film, but hopefully will revive the type of animation that seems to have been forgotten through the years. Some amazing animated films have been made through the rotoscope method, which basically films real people going through the motions and then superimposes animated figures over those forms. The result gives the animated characters more weight and real-world movement than any simulated CG cell plopped out by Disney or Pixar. If you've seen the Heavy Metal movie or Ralph Bakshi's The Hobbit or any of Bakshi's other films like Fire and Ice or Fritz the Cat, then you know what rotoscope is, even if you might not have known what it was called. If I understand it right, the method of animation is not only more realistic, but far faster to process. Or maybe I'm wrong about that, I'm not sure. Still, films made with this method look unlike anything you're bound to find. Like those rotoscoped fantasy epics of yesteryear, The Spine of Night tells an enormous story that spans across the dawn of time to what seems to be the very end of it. It depicts the war between the gods and titans, the creation of the universe, and the distinction between good and evil. It charts a horrifying journey as a cave woman attempts to transport a spark of life that ends up being twisted into terrifying lengths and exploited to enslave an entire populace. It shows monumental battles between warring armies set against gorgeously painted backdrops. Everything about the film screams an epic scope modern movies only attempt to do. There are no limits to this animation, only in those who created this modern animated masterpiece, and their minds think pretty big. The Spine of Night can be enjoyed for its wonderfully intricate story, told in disjointed parts jumping from beginnings to endings to middles, but never really getting convoluted enough to lose you. Then again, if you're looking for something to admire as a visual smorgasbord, this one will satisfy those hunger pangs as well. I understand there's an entire generation who are unaware of this style of cartooning, and it may be off-putting to some, but I got a warm and fuzzy feeling as every vivid and rich scene played out here, and I hope this film causes a new resurgence in the rotoscope method. And brutal, man, is this a brutal little film. People are hacked to bits, burned to embers, pulverized, smashed, sliced, and diced. The Spine of Night pulls no punches and shows every bloody, gruesome detail. This is carnage you just can't get away with in live action. The carnage depicted here is unlike anything you're bound to see, and I loved every second of it. Adding to the fun, The Spine of Night sports a geeky cast of voice actors: Patton Oswalt, Lucy Lawless, Joe Manganiello, Richard E. Grant, and of course the one and only Larry Fessenden all offer up their voices for this wide cast of characters. Sure, recognizing these voices kind of takes you out of the film, but only as much as it does regularly animated features. All of the cast are giving their all and taking this film deathly serious. One can tell this is a cast of geek celebrities who believed in this project, It's evident in every scene they're in. I expect The Spine of Night to become another sleeper hit like Fire and Ice, Heavy Metal, and other rotoscoped flicks before it. There's something infectiously underground and appealingly grungy to the way this animation works. There's a coolness to it that makes it so much more than your typical animation. There was a lot of amazing work put into this brutal, bloody, and brash fantasy epic. I encourage you to seek it out, and hopefully it'll feel as much of a breath of fresh air to you as it did for me. How often do you get to watch a new fantasy horror cartoon? The answer, not bloody often. So enjoy it. That'll be it for today. Please chime in down below in the comments and let me know how on the nose or mind-numbingly wrong I am, or you can counter with your own review. So guys, you know how YouTube works. I'd love to be able to dedicate more time to this channel. I'm not monetized yet, so if you want to help me out, remember to hit all the pertinent bells and whistles down below. Want some spooky comics to read? I have 2 new horror comic book trade paperbacks you should look out for. Both Grave Trancers and Pirouette, collecting never-before-published issues, can be found in only the finest of comic book shops. If you're looking for written reviews, you can find them on my website, mlmillerwrites.com. If you really want to show your support, I also have a Patreon page at mlmiller. Look for the link to my Patreon page down below. Thank you so much for your time, and take care.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality.